Yo, what's up, guys? So it's me, Ben, back again with another video for you all. And in this one, I just want to talk about spirituality. Someone asked me in the last video what my thoughts are on it. So spirituality, I mean, before I start, I'm just going to say I'm no expert. I'm not a guru. I'm not a monk or a Buddhist or whatever. I don't know about this stuff on a deep level, but I do know that I meditate every day. Becoming present to the moment is something that when you experience it, you understand the power of it, and it's something that you want to get back. Want to get back to that level all the time, and it's not easy because we live in a very very overstimulated society. Like music, television, pornography, food, very like stimulating foods. And what can happen is we pound this stuff on us so much that it shuts down that part of the brain, because like our dopamine, if you know about nofap, you know about dopamine. That those receptors start to die because there's so much dopamine there, they don't need to be alive anymore. So when you're constantly consuming these very high stimulus things like music, food, as I said, those receptors will start to die, and you'll have a lower level of dopamine, which I'm no expert, again, like I said, but like I know that it's not good. I find personally when I start eating well, I'm always practicing no fap. I'm always practicing no fap, so it's not something that I really think about. But yeah, like when I'm eating well, when I'm on no fap, when I'm meditating every day, when I'm not, I enjoy listening to music, but not when it's like constant, when it's just for the sake of something to listen to keep you. And to be fair, I've been today. I was in the gym and I was listening to tunes whilst training, because it can get sometimes a bit boring just standing around. It's quite a quiet gym. No one's really there, so yeah. But just not listening, you'll notice you're more present. You're breathing. You're more aware of your surroundings. And being present is, to me, it's that state of just alertness. I personally felt the most present after I came back from a holiday once. Every holiday I come, two holidays last year. Was it last year? Not last year, but in the past few years I went on 2 holidays, and when I came back from those holidays, I was very present. I was very relaxed. Very low stress. I could just kind of like be very just present, and I felt confident. I felt good. Like I felt healthy. And I think, to me, that's what presence is. I mean, it's that really just being able to sit there and not be in reaction to your impulses. Not be like, it's the kind of like things that irritate you and aggravate you. You can kind of just sort of breathe it out and just kind of like not react to it. And that to me is what presence is. And it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to master. And even just the act of sitting down for 20 minutes, you'll find yourself procrastinating all day. I'm sure you can relate. You just procrastinate all day long. And then the thing is, when you actually do it, when you do it well, you're like, fuck me, that was good. Like, I feel relaxed, I feel refreshed. I feel like really calm, and I can just sort of like chill out. And, some of my friends have even said to me, like, when I was going through some good phases of meditation, they're like, Ben, you're always observant, you kind of don't really, you're always looking. And and the thing I notice, I look in people's eyes, when I'm really present, I'm looking in their eyes. And people say that to me. They say like, oh shit, your eye, the way you stare at me. I do it to my mum, like as a joke. I'll just sort of sit there and I'll just hold eye contact, and they just don't really know what to do. They kind of just like, they know there's something there. Like, they're like they kind of laugh and stuff, because they don't really know how to receive that, and it's intense, because it's just that your pure being is just there, like in front of them. And yeah, so to me, spirituality, I'm not sure, I'm not 100%, I'm not an expert, okay, but for me personally, spirituality is, that's what it is. It's that presence, it's that sort of just awareness and that groundedness, and that feeling of like just feeling really good. Because I'm not an expert. Like, I keep saying that because I'm just trying to. I don't want to sit here and be the guy who's in the expert, because I'm not. but like you have that chart, like you have like higher consciousness, lower consciousness. In the middle you have neutrality. So the lower consciousness, you got things like fear, grief, anger, things like that. And then as you move up the list, you get things like courage, desire, and then you get to like neutrality. I'm probably missing a few out. And then you go from that to like joy and love and so on and so forth. And what I found personally, and I've heard someone else say it, and it really clicked with me. I was like, oh shit, is that when you're in that really low place, when you're like being governed by the same thoughts, and you're just in that deep state of lower consciousness, you're just eating crap food, you're just trying to numb yourself from the pain of just the pain of just being alive. Whatever you're going through at that moment in time, you might be it might be a breakup, it might be a relative passing away. I haven't actually personally experienced that, but I could assume that's something that would be similar. And yeah, just things like that. When you start meditating, you're getting rid of those bottom level of consciousness. Because you're going to a state of neutrality. Like, you're taking the thoughts away, and you're focusing on the present moment, and nothing. I'm not sure. But I know that meditation gets you into that state of neutrality, and I've noticed it recently because I've been going through some hard times at the moment personally, and like ever since I've just been meditating, I've been starting to feel a lot more better. Like, a lot more switched on, positive, and just like focused and feeling really good. Feeling really positive about things, and being able to process things better and deal with situations much better. But one thing that if you're meditating and you're trying to raise your consciousness and become more spiritual, you cannot, and I repeat this, you cannot do it drinking alcohol, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, putting heavy toxins in your body. You can't be eating bad foods. You can't be staying up late at night. You can't be I feel like you could work a difficult job and stay spiritual and stay, because that's almost the balance of it. Is you work a stressful job, then you come home, meditate, and you're like sort of clearing your head and balancing your stress and stuff. But you cannot be drinking alcohol, and they even say that, like, this is where it gets deep, and this is what I find personally very interesting, is alcohol, because I've never been a big fan of it. Until I started drinking. Like, I always used to stay away from it. People who know me as the guy who didn't drink. I used to go out and chat to people and stuff. And I got into drinking because it was like me on steroids. Like, it was literally like me on steroids. But it got to the point where I was actually just relying on the alcohol to do everything. I was like, oh shit, I can't do anything until I drink. And it literally gets you in state. Like, if you're doing pickup and you're learning about this stuff, if you go to a club and you go and talk to 10, 15 people, and a couple of those interactions go well and whatever, you'll go into state, and that state will be sustained throughout the night. But the thing is, if you just go to the bar and down a few drinks, you'll be in state, like, bam, just like that, and it's crazy. But what you'll find is, you're not going to pick up on the subtleties, you're not going to learn and progress, and you're going to do some things that you regret. You're going to go home with people that aren't attractive, and you're going to go into that lower state of consciousness. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. But like, also, what's interesting is when people talk about alcohol, the word alcohol. So I don't know how. I'm 100% not sure. I'm pretty sure alcohol is the Arabic word for alkal, which means body-eating spirit, and I think that's where the term spirits comes from. Because it comes from that. And what actually happens, this is my belief, but this is something I believe in, and I've heard numerous people talk about similar things, so it's my conclusion. But when you drink, what's actually happening is you're poisoning your body so much that, some people believe that you're putting so much poison in your body. The way it protects itself is it brings up those positive emotions in you. It makes you feel that high state to kind of like, because it's actually fighting off the demons, I guess, like the entities that are trying to possess you. It sounds woo, it sounds crazy, but I don't care. I like this kind of stuff. This stuff interests me, man. And then there's another one that's like, when I'm gonna have to cut the video short, but yeah, there's another one that says that, like, the lower all those lower states of consciousness, But where am I saying? Yeah, sorry. All those lower states, so as I talked about before with the neutrality, all those lower states below it actually become taken away. So for that brief time you're drinking, you're not feeling those states of consciousness anymore, and you're on the neutrality and above, so you can feel a lot better. And that's why people become so addicted to it, because they are running away from those lower states. And you don't need alcohol's just a suppressant. It's not actually curing you in any way. It's not going to make you better. If anything, it's going to make you much worse. Especially, I've read that alcohol is on the same level of, it damages your body to the same level as doing heroin. Like, that's crazy. And yeah, so that's kind of just it for this one, guys. So I do hope you enjoyed it, and there's going to be more videos on the way, so make sure you subscribe. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.